comedian David Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. So yeah, I've got my son doing kickboxing now. We're turning him into a full cage fighter. I'm just thinking jiu-jitsu is probably not enough. You need to be able to stand and fight. So he's been having a problem with a kid at school. My son just turned 8 and this kid is 10. And there's a couple of other kids as well who jump in apparently. And my son can fight. Like, he's fighting 12-year-olds and fucking 14-year-olds and shit at jiu-jitsu and doing well against them. So he knows what he's doing. But still, 3 10-year-olds when you're 8 at school is pretty tough. And so he's been like a little bit scared to go to school. And I'm like, you've got to sort this out. I said, tell them you don't want to fight. Tell them, because it's like play fighting, but then like my son starts doing well. From what I can tell, he starts doing well, and then this kid loses his mind. So it's all play, then it gets serious, and it's like everyday sort of thing. So I told my son, I'm like, just say you don't want to fight and walk away. But you're at jiu-jitsu to defend yourself. So if you need to fight, use it and use it properly. Anyway, he came back from school one of the days and was like, I told him 5 times I don't want to fight, and we still fought. And he went through the whole thing. He's like, I did this, I put a rear naked choke on, but then the kid started screaming. So I let go, and then he came back at me, and then one of the other kids jumped in. I'm like, all right, well, that's not working. The saying I don't want to fight isn't working. You're just going to have to fight. That was my advice. I was like, you're just going to have to fight. What I wanted to say is you're just going to have to fuck him up once, just hurt him real bad once, and then it will stop. Anyway, he's just turned 8, and he's been real like nervous every time he turns up to school. So I was like, all right, I'll start him in kickboxing so he can learn, but I have to do something to buy him a couple of months while he's learning. So I took fucking Monday off work yesterday and I dropped him. I dropped him to school, and on the way I was like, listen, do you know why you're doing jiu-jitsu? He's like, yeah, to defend myself. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you're going to start kickboxing as well. So these things, as you get older, you're going to have to deal with them yourself. Okay? That's why I'm getting you to do all these things. So you'll learn how to handle these things yourself. I'll help you out this one, but you're going to have to start figuring it out for yourself, all right? And he understood. So anyway, I go into his school. I didn't even want to tell this story, but it's a slow news day, so here we are. So anyway, this is what kind of psychopath I am. I take the day off work just to fucking drop my kid off, and I dress in my work clothes, like full orange high vis, fucking work pants, steel cap boots. I look like someone who's going to jump out of a car at the traffic lights and smash your window. And I put on a scowl as well. So I walk my son in to his school to drop him off. This is like a holiday, because it's school holiday, so it's like school holiday fucking camp type care thing, whatever. And so I'm walking him in, and my son's like a little bit worried. He's looking who's there. And I'm like, get here, get in. And so I'm walking in, and this kid waves at me. And I've never seen this kid before. He's like some nerdy, dorky kid, and he waves at me. And I don't even wave back. I'm like, who the fuck is this kid waving at me? And I'm looking around, and I look to my son, and I'm like, all right, so where's the kid? And my son points to the dork that fucking waved at me. I'm like, what? I'm like, him? That's what I said to him. I'm like, him? He's like, yeah. I'm like, that's the kid. He's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, fuck it. I thought it was going to be some kid with a rat's tail, or fucking a big Maori kid, or I wasn't expecting a dork. Like, he sort of looks retarded as well, but like a dork, like if I was in grade 2 or 3, I would have smacked the fuck out of this kid. I would have absolutely untrained, no jiu-jitsu, just leveled him. I would have had no problem whatsoever. But these fucking kids, my son's a good kid. He doesn't actually want to hurt anyone. I'm a little bit different. I wanted to. So I'm like, all right, fuck. Oh, all right. So I went up to the kid. I'm like, hey, are you? And I said his name. He's like, yeah. I'm like, listen. I'm like, when my son says he doesn't want to fight, that means he doesn't want to fight, all right? He's like, okay. I'm like, do you understand me? When he says he doesn't want to fight, he doesn't want to fight. So you don't fight him. Understand? I'm like, there's no problems, but just make sure you understand that, okay? He's like, okay. And I'm like, all right. Fucking hell. That's the kid? I'm telling you right now, my son goes to jiu-jitsu 3 nights a week and wrestles like fucking anyone from fucking 8 years old to up to 14. And he's good. like kids his age, he mauls. Most 10-year-olds he mauls too. I think it's just situational. That's why I'm putting him in kickboxing. Because I think it's just the concrete ground. He's a little bit worried. He's more like, he's really good off his back. And I suppose it's pretty hard to work your jiu-jitsu back game on concrete while 3 10-year-olds are trying to pummel you. So the kickboxing is a nice little addition to the skills. Because all you need to do is pop someone in the liver or just fucking sweep their legs out from under them, then choke them. But you can also keep people at a distance, give them a fucking teep straight down the middle, solar plexus, and once he gets flexible, a couple of roundhouse kicks. But this is what I was thinking. I've been thinking about it for the last week, 2 weeks. I'm like, all right, the toughest guys in school when I was growing up never fought. Their reputation preceded them. Like no one wanted to fight these cunts, so they just never fought. Or if they did, it was like once. Like there was one guy, Anthony, a Cambodian dude, and he was big. He was bigger than most of us in like year 9, but everyone was scared of him. But he never fought. Like everyone just respected him. And then some dude who didn't really know him on the bus said some shit, and he just walked over and broke the kid's nose, and that was the end of it. He never got into another fight at school ever again, and no one was like yelling anything at him either. Like there was about 4 or 5 other guys that were like the tough guys. They never fought either. It was just all the scrappy little fucking retards like myself. If you know how to fight, you don't need to fight. That's the whole thing. That's the reason why you train. It also leaves you. Like if you're training and wrestling and kicking and punching and all that sort of shit in a controlled environment, then you don't need to do it out. The thing with this kid at my son's school is apparently he fights everyone. Like he's tested himself against all these different kids. He's not a trained fighting kid or anything, but he likes fighting. He needs to be like doing a martial art or what I actually felt like saying to this kid was like, why don't you come down to fucking jiu-jitsu? I'll fucking take you down with my kid and you can learn how to fucking fight. So you don't need to be fighting at school every 2 seconds. All right? And just give my son like 2 months breathing space so he can learn a little bit of kickboxing and fucking learn how to liver kick you cunt. Anyway, so that was some fathering I did yesterday. It's all good. Father of the year. Anyway, that'll fucking do it for tonight. And I'll see you the fuck later.